that Waffle House is somehow connected to the Manhattan Project from World War II. So they managed to actually surprise me.
You can't drop that on me from the start. Ease into it. Ladies and gentlemen, and this is Waffle House. Waffle House. Now why am I saying it like this? Because I know something of Waffle House that is insane. I've known it for a while and it's insane. Okay, so this is the title. Waffle House, the Roman Colosseum of the South, obviously as you can see from the fact files. Yeah, what is Waffle House? There is something called Waffle House Index. That is just insane to me, right? What is a Waffle House Index? It's the measure of like how badly things are going, because if Waffle House is closed, things are really bad, right? Something like that, right? It's like Waffle House is open so reliably open that they will be open all the time, right? You can go to Waffle House for like even like a safety or something. That's how good Waffle House is. So if Waffle House is closed, it's really bad. There's something like that, right? Tornadoes and shit. A loud tornado, not loud tornado, it's just like, it's a phenomenon that is like really like, if you like witness this, it's insane, right? Not that I've witnessed it, but like I've seen 4K videos on a fucking 60-inch plasma TV with an awesome system, and it nearly panicked me, right? Who's that guy? I forgot his name. It's a great tornado guy. I've been watching it for years. Like, I forgot his name, but he's really good at that. Like tornado chaser. But seriously, man, the hurricanes are great as well, but you can't really see hurricanes because they're like so big, state-wide big. While tornadoes you can see, right? It's like a fucking like a like storm from like Stalker game or something, right? It's just holy shit, here it comes. Especially if it's big, right? EF5s and shit like that. So Waffle House Index is for some shit like that. If Waffle House is closed, something's really bad. So I really love this. Fat Files is a channel that Fat Electrician does for like businesses like this. He's done a few of them and I'm pretty sure I watched all of them. But this one going to be really fun for me. So let's watch it.
I'm just going to be honest with you, I actually debated on which channel I was going to upload this video on, because on one hand, we're going over a business and the business model that it has, but on the other hand, this restaurant is basically the Roman Colosseum of the South, and I'm pretty sure if you eat there enough, you actually get a deployment patch from the US military.
Yeah, Waffle House is so insane, it should have been on the main channel. It's not about a business anymore.
Regardless, I wore my schnazziest tank top for the occasion. Today we're talking about Waffle House. Okay, just to be completely clear with everybody, I was pretty sure I was not going to get caught off guard because Waffle House is already absolutely crazy. I started looking into it and then found out that Waffle House is somehow connected to the Manhattan Project from World War II. So they managed to actually surprise me, and we're going to get to it right after a word from our sponsor.
You can't just fucking drop that on me from the start. Ease into it, man. Manhattan Project. Did they make nukes? They were like buddy with Oppenheimer. This is insane.
Yeah, babe, what's up?
Hey, I need a boombox.
Okay, I can go get you one.
Perfect.
All right, I'll go get it now. Love you.
Love you.
All right, bye.
1 hour later.
Where's that boombox that I asked for?
Oh, it's right here. I got it for you.
What is this?
The boombox.
It goes boom.
No, I wanted something to play music with.
Oh, that kind of boombox. Yeah, I got this instead.
Okay, we'll go to the store and get me a boombox so I can listen to music.
Can I keep this one still?
I don't care.
This video is brought to you by Delete Me. Okay?
Okay, people still buy boombox. Okay, this is about boombox. Do people really buy boombox? Because it's like, why? I get it, like if you want to go on a picnic or something, but you're gonna bring a boombox to a picnic? Apart from like few kids in a like college campus or some shit, I don't see application of boombox. Have a proper speakers in your home, like it's gonna be better. Boombox is really compromised, it's small. Unless made really well and engineered really well, they're gonna be insanely costly, but unless you do that, it's not gonna sound that good, like bass and shit is gonna be really bad. I don't know. At least that's my experience so far. Maybe I haven't seen a good boombox company, I don't know.
A super simple business model. You give them money, they turn around and they make sure that online data brokers are not selling your personal information online. Okay, here's the deal. Pretty much anytime you use a free service on the internet and you click that little box that says, I agree to the terms and conditions, you've basically...
Yeah, Delete Me is doing God's work, isn't it? Like just, every single Fat Files video and Fat Electrician video is like Delete Me sponsored. They're going God's work basically, because I'm not gonna lie, Fat Electrician and Fat Files, basically both of his channels, is one of the most favorite channels of mine. right? I don't care if it doesn't do well in my channel. Like, reactions can get like a few hundred views. I don't care. I'm still gonna do it because I was gonna watch anyway. This is one of those channels. Yeah, well, go to joindeleteme.com/fat files and support this channel, or go to original video page link.
All right, Waffle House. Our story begins with a gentleman by the name of Tom Faulkner. This man graduated from law school at 23 years old, passed the bar, and immediately gets drafted in 1940 in the days leading up to World War II. Because he graduated from college, he's presented with two different options. He can A, go straight into officer training, and that's a 3-year commitment, or he can just be a normal draftee and go in as an enlisted soldier, and that is a 1-year commitment. Now, you gotta remember, at this point in time, like 1940, while World War II is currently going on, America's not involved yet. The attack on Pearl Harbor has not happened, and prior to the attack on Pearl Harbor, the American people did not want to go to war. Because of that, Tom Faulkner figures, hey, we're not actually going off to war. I don't want to waste 3 years of my time just being in the military, not actually, fighting a war or whatever. So he chooses to be a draftee. Goes into the military as an enlisted soldier, E1 private. From there, goes off to basic training. As soon as he gets through basic training, the attack...
This is a Factuation video, not Fat Files video, because that's how it's starting. I need to check the channel. Oh, okay.
on Pearl Harbor ends up happening, America enters the war. He immediately opts to go into OCS training and commits for 3 years. After he completes the officer training course, he actually gets slotted to be a counterintelligence officer where he does, and I quote, a lot of top secret stuff.
You see, my identity must remain mysterious and my mission secret. I cannot reveal it to you.
You can actually tell in the interviews that he gave later on in his life, like in his 70s, 80s, and 90s, that he's still not sure what he is and what he isn't allowed to talk about. But he did end up telling us that basically it was his job to try to sneak onto military bases, not as military personnel. So he would basically disguise himself as like a painter or a carpenter or whatever and try to infiltrate a US military base to expose weaknesses within the system to help counteract enemy spies. So he does that.
What was that? Like, there was a movie? Was there a movie? Was there a show? I'm so confused right now because of all the pills, I'm guessing. But seriously, like, there was a movie, show, whatever recently, which basically did that, right? Like, and then just told them, like, okay, I just got in and this is your flaw and shit. What was that, man? I'm seriously forgetting this.
For a couple of years, and then one day he ends up getting orders like, hey, you're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. And he's like, okay, for what? And they're like, don't fucking worry about it, just show up. So he shows up in Tennessee and he's given his orders, and those orders, I'm paraphrasing here, but they're essentially, hey, here's your partner. You two are gonna hop in that truck and you are gonna drive it from Knoxville, Tennessee to Los Alamos, New Mexico. You guys are gonna dress in plain clothes. You're not gonna look at what's inside the truck. You're not gonna talk about what's inside the truck. You're gonna take this map and take that exact route. This route avoids every major city and every major highway. You were going to drive straight there 53 hours straight, taking turns sleeping in the passenger seat and not stopping for any reason whatsoever. And he does this for the next year and a half, pretty much nonstop. And then like 20, 30 years after the fact, he finds out that he was actually hauling the majority of the enriched uranium for all of the nuclear testing and the building of nuclear weapons. Which, as we all know, brings about the end of World War II, at which point he gets out of the military, moves back home to Atlanta, Georgia.
Whatever really is it, my first thought would be like, what the fuck? Do I have third arm? I know there's more nuance to that, but that would be my initial reaction.
Just starts helping his dad out with his real estate agency. Now he does that for about 10 years, and during this time he ends up selling the house right next door to his to another guy by the name of Joe Rogers, and they pretty much become best friends. Joe Rogers was also an Army veteran. He was actually a pilot that flew B-24s in World War II. When Joe got back home after the war, he did not want to go off to college, so he actually just took the first job that he was offered, being a short order cook at a now defunct restaurant chain known as Waffle House. He worked his way up, becoming a restaurant manager, then eventually becoming a regional manager. And then one day his neighbor and best friend, Tom Faulkner, real estate agent, always looking for the next investment, comes to him and is like, hey, I'm thinking about opening up my own restaurant. I can get the real estate deal going on that side. I just wanted to know, like, if I opened up and bought a franchise of Waffle House, would you be willing to run it for me? Now, at this point, it's like 1954, 1955. Joe Rogers has a ton of experience inside the restaurant industry, and he basically tells his best friend, like, hey, don't open a Waffle House. You should start your own thing. Waffle House's business model isn't that great. If you start your own restaurant, I will help you run it. He then goes off on vacation with his family, and by the time he comes back, Tom Faulkner has already bought the real estate and comes to Rogers and is like, cool, what's the business we're starting?
Where's Pancake's house? What? We stop at Pancake's house.
And within the span of like 6
Okay, am I just the only one? I'm missing this type of old movies, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. Indian movies, I mean, you don't care, like, because you don't care, but Bollywood is going to shit. Has gone to shit for quite some time. Now there's just stupid action movies, nothing else. a guy kicks and 50 people fly up. I'm pretty sure like latest Indian movie, not Bollywood movie, because apparently people from the south get pissed off. But Indian movie was Triple R that got famous. You get the gist, right? Lion and all that shit. Nuance movies are no longer there, but Hollywood is kind of going that way as well, man. It's this type of like proper like Tarantino style like movies and like the Fargo, the original Fargo movie, and all this shit, man, right? Old movies, De Niro movies, and all that, like the movies that has like something, right? Some it factor. What, all directors somehow retired or something? Well, I'm so unlucky that even though there are movies, I just don't know about it. Seriously, man, if you know any good movies, comment down, because like I'm struggling recently. Like I can't find any good movies anymore.
Next month, the very first of what is now the legendary restaurant chain of Waffle House opens. And Waffle House is legendary, probably for all the wrong reasons. I mean, even if you've never been to a Waffle House, you've heard about Waffle House because, well, I mean, Kid Rock got in a fight there. You've got Haley Booth, the viral Waffle House cook known as the last chairbender. There's entire subreddits and YouTube channels almost exclusively dedicated to all the fights that break out at Waffle House. I remember the first time I went to a Waffle House, I stretched first, I grabbed a GoPro, I was ready to yell World Star, nothing exciting happened. I just had delicious breakfast at like 3 o'clock in the morning, which is probably 99% of people's experiences because despite all of the negative...
I want UFC. I want UFC and their fighters to chill out at Waffle House at least one time. Like, take your, like, light heavyweight, all that, John Jones and all that shit. Islam, Makhachev and all that. Just let them, like, go Waffle House one more. I want to see who fights and who not. Brock is no longer there, but it would be, like, insane if Brock was there. Because Brock is probably the biggest guy that ever stepped into UFC, according to UFC and UFC people. I know somebody would disagree with that, but probably. Look at how wide and big he was. He was insanely strong. Right? So imagine even Brock Lesnar walks into like Waffle House and somebody just picks fight with him. You literally grab him and throw him out because average weight would be like around 200 pounds. 220, 230, 240 pounds. It doesn't matter. I've seen Brock pick up 250 pound people and throw them and literally give them airtime in WWE. He gives them airtime whenever they suplex him. Whenever he suplex them. So imagine you're just grabbing somebody just throwing out of the window. Cartoonish shit.
PR, Waffle House makes a ton of money and has an incredible business model. Okay, Waffle House had about $1.4 billion in revenue last year, which is about $650,000 per location, and when you take into consideration that each Waffle House is absolutely tiny, that's really impressive. Out of their 2,100 tiny Waffle House locations, their yearly stats are 58 million cups of coffee, 124 million waffles, 153 million servings of hash browns, 272 million eggs, which is about 2% of all the eggs consumed in the United States of America, and 85 million strips of bacon. Yes, I did the math.
Wait a minute, isn't hash brown just like potato, what a patty in the middle of bun or something? Because McDonald's started selling that here recently, hash browns. I'm pretty sure it's just that, right? Or at least that's what I got the idea. I haven't eaten it because, yeah, anything that doesn't have high protein, I don't touch anymore.
That is about 8,000 miles worth of bacon.
I worry what you just heard was, give me a lot of bacon and eggs. What I said was, give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
So Waffle House is obviously doing something right. What exactly are they doing? Well, it all comes down to their business model and their branding. Now, with the Waffle House branding, all the negative PR about fights always breaking out at Waffle House, in a way, has actually helped them out a ton because Waffle House, by and large, is pretty much a regional chain. It's primarily down in the South. Yet, Waffle House has become a household name pretty much everywhere in America. You could have never even seen a Waffle House, and you already know Waffle House is open 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and they serve breakfast. Why do you know they serve breakfast? Because their name is fucking Waffle House. I mean,
I was gonna say Turtle House. What the fuck is that? Like, I'm not saying something like Turtle House can become famous, but come on, you need one of the most simplistic things. It's like last video from Fat Files, right? Where something sounded like a more, right? What was it like? 1/3 compared to 2/3 or something like that, because it sounded more, but even though it was less. But people are so simplistic, they didn't even try to think about it. This number is bigger than that number, it must be good. That's how simplistic people. It's not like people are simple. I'm not saying that. I'm saying people have enough shit on their plate every single day. They don't want to think about too much when they want to eat or have breakfast. So keep it simple. Waffle House. I want to eat waffle. Go to Waffle House. How simple can it be?
I mean, look at this sign. You're driving down the road, you see that, you know everything you need to know. They sell breakfast. The end. Do that with another breakfast place. If you're not from there and you don't know what a Denny's or a Perkins or an IHOP is, you have no idea. It's just a restaurant, maybe. Waffle House, they're selling waffles, which means there's like a 99% chance.
I'm not gonna lie, if I ever go to America, right? I mean, I like to think I know enough of America compared to most people who are not from America. Like, I have surprisingly good information. I used to say, like, my general knowledge is really vast, right? Even people told me from America in the comments, like, you know a lot about America, even though I've never been there. But even whenever I like Denny's, what the fuck is that? Do I buy clothes there? I would probably go to Waffle House from the direct hotel to direct Waffle House because I want to eat breakfast, right? And then I would process like what place is what. So just like keep it simple. That's the thing.
They sell other breakfast food. Fucking sold, I'm in. So already, the branding is absolutely incredible, but here's the true genius of it. Why did they call it Waffle House? Why didn't they call it Breakfast House or Bacon House or Hash Brown House? It's because waffles had the highest profit margin. I cannot stress to you enough how absolutely genius that is, right? Because you don't need to sell breakfast, all right? Everybody's already in on breakfast, okay? I could be blackout drunk at 4 in the morning and you could ask me, hey, do you want breakfast? I'm coming up like the Undertaker every single time. And then you go, the only thing open right now is Waffle House, okay? I was already sold on breakfast from the get-go, but because Waffle House is where we're going, guess what I'm getting? A motherfucking waffle, and they're making more money. It makes sense that Tom Faulkner was a counterintelligence officer because the man literally said 2 words and has already subconsciously tricked you into ordering the most expensive thing on the menu that makes him the most money. So the branding of Waffle House is both simple and brilliant, and the rest of the business model matches that to a T.
There is a psychological element as well, right? Because if you go to Waffle House and don't order waffle, it feels like people are seeing me. I'm not ordering waffle. Why the fuck did I come to Waffle House if I don't want to eat waffle? I wanted to eat breakfast, so I thought of Waffle House. It's like a really great dynamic.
Okay, all Waffle Houses are like virtually identical. They're very small. They only seat like 30 people, and you can actually see the cook making you your food. Now, at a glance, you're just like, oh, they're just going for that like 1950s drive-through type of a vibe, which they are, but there's way more to it than that. Because the restaurant is so small, the kitchen never has the
The
opportunity.
look of the restaurant, right? It's like they're playing the old mafia game, right? The mafia game had like old game, old movie style scenario where somebody just sits there. It's very grainy and a silver looking film because quality of film wasn't that great back then. It feels like a movie from the 90s or 80s. It's like they haven't changed. It's great.
Opportunity to get bogged down, meaning that they're moving tables very, very quickly. So instead of having one kitchen and 100 customers, you've got one kitchen and 30 customers, and you can just turn those tables over 3 times faster, which pretty much guarantees that every customer is going to get exactly what they wanted. Okay, they're not going in there for 5-star dining. They're going in there because they're hungry and they want breakfast, and now they're going to get breakfast really quick in a small setting that doesn't feel like a packed restaurant where they have to wait in line to be seated. And I know what you're thinking. What if one Waffle House just reaches its maximum capacity, right? What if it's just completely full with a line out the door 24/7 every day of the year? Waffle House surely would build a bigger Waffle House, right? No, we're gonna take the same parking lot and right next to that first Waffle House, we're gonna build a second fucking Waffle House, okay? The plan is working, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. Which is one of those
Really smart, scientific, right? I mean, you look at the computer industry. Like, computer is everything. There's nothing you do that doesn't include computer. They multiply, right? They don't create bigger one. Look at the battery in mobile now. Oh, you want a bigger battery that charges faster? We're gonna split the 2 batteries. Oh, it's 5,000 milliamp hour. There are 2 2,500 milliamp hours batteries in there, not one big one, because that's an issue. Changing the system might create a dynamic that employees are not used to, customers are not used to, and it might create bigger problem than anyone can handle. Just duplicate it. Might as well, right? Just literally create another one touching it. There is no, its own. There is no wall connecting it. It's just wall between it. There are 2 Waffle Houses. Fuck it, why not? People can just walk by there. Who cares? That is perfect.
those things that seems dumb but is actually brilliant. So obviously speed is key to this business model, and they've done themselves a big favor with their menu because their menu is overwhelmingly simple, okay? It's literally one side of one piece of paper. Okay, the entire menu is comprised of like 10 things. They have waffles, sausage, bacon, ham, eggs, toast, biscuits, gravy, butter, and syrup. Guess how many flavors of syrup they have? One. It's fucking syrup-flavored syrup. The entire menu is simple, exactly how it's supposed to be. Oh, sorry, they have hash
Syrup of what though? Syrup doesn't mean just like some sugary. That syrup means like there has to be like maple syrup, this syrup. What syrup? Or is it just sugar water? What is that?
browns too. Sorry, 11 things, not 10. Anyways, moving on. Another reason they do so good is they actually might be the best fast food chain when it comes to taking care of their employees. They pay them higher than average, they have super flexible schedules, and they're one of, if not the only fast food chain that actually offers all their
All of them. What about that one? I don't want pain pills. I have foggy memory. But one of the ones he covered that they sell Chick-fil-A. I think Chick-fil-A, right? They outsells everyone. They don't even have that much number, but they like treat employing everyone better. Like, is this better than that?
employees healthcare and dental insurance. Okay, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, okay, but really, how good are they actually treating the Waffle House employees? I got the one stat that's everything you need to know, okay? Waffle House treats their employees so well that employees are willing to commute into a natural disaster to work at a different Waffle House when the occasion arises. Yeah, Waffle House is open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and they fucking mean it, okay? Whenever there's like a hurricane coming or some type of impending natural disaster, Waffle House organizes what they call a jump team, a bunch of Waffle House employees from a different region that's going to be unaffected because they know that their local employees are going to be busy taking care of their own family and their own houses during a hurricane. So they bring in teams from outside the region to work inside of a natural fucking disaster, and they're willing to do it.
I never said thank you.
So they must build Waffle Houses like hurricane proof, right? Like frame structure, properly beams and everything so people can shelter, or maybe there's a basement. They must do that because if this is their motto, right? The people must run to Waffle House for shelter because they know Waffle House is open, employees are there. So at least they must create some kind of like a basement as mandatory at every Waffle House. That would be better because a tornado EF5 level fucking, what was that like? El Torino? I forgot the name of that tornado, which was insanely deadly. If something like that comes suddenly at the center of Waffle House, that Waffle House is fucked, right? And that's kind of dangerous. So they must like create some kind of basement or something for that. I don't know. But yeah, there's like Waffle House Index. News channels use this. What is the Waffle House? Is that open? Is that closed? What is the Waffle House Index? That's just insane.
And you'll never have to.
Okay, McDonald's can barely get their employees to show up on a good day, and Waffle House has employees volunteering to commute into a fucking hurricane to make breakfast. And this is the most impressive part of the business because Waffle House has the best logistics and preparedness of any company I've ever seen ever. The only entity that beats them in logistical capacity is the United States military. Waffle House is literally ready for absolutely anything. Every single Waffle House has the playbook inside of it that details exactly how the staff is supposed to handle literally any type of emergency or situation that could possibly arise. And if for some reason the situation comes across that isn't in that playbook, after it happens, they immediately add it to the playbook. It covers tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, a hole in the roof from a branch falling, a car driving into the restaurant. You can drive a car into Waffle House.
I would say that why, but like I've seen enough video, like this is a common occurrence, let's just say.
And they're still planning on staying open. The playbook even has detailed plans for every type of disaster for what the local employees, while they're not working, should go home and do to make sure that their house and their family are safe as well. Every single Waffle House has a backup generator. The stovetop, it runs on propane, and they have a bunch of extra propane tanks on hand. Flashlights, candles, batteries, backup water. They have a special menu of what they're able to serve when the water is out and they're running on reserve water. When a Waffle House location
These people are playing Fallout. They're creating shelter, like how to gather resources. So if Fallout scenario happens, I guess go to why does Bethesda doesn't add Waffle House? Like I don't know, get Waffle House to like sponsor or something and just add Waffle Houses in Fallout. That'd be so insane. I get it, like they diverge from like lore from I guess 1950s or something. So why would Waffle House be there or some shit like that? I don't know. But like they could add that and like keep Waffle House as like this resources or like a settlement. I don't know.
Is going to be in a disaster area, that Waffle House stocks up on extra food, and then all of the neighboring locations in the unaffected area also stock up and stage food there to get them more food when they need it. If Waffle House is a standing structure, those motherfuckers are serving breakfast come hell or high water.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I'm not fucking leaving!
Waffle House is so good at this that FEMA uses them to gauge how bad natural disasters really are. Yes, FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, literally uses the Waffle House Index to gauge how bad a disaster is.
That is insane. As soon as you say American federal, you're talking about insane levels. Whether you hate any federal agency or not, the reality is the scale of those federal agencies are insane. The budget of those agencies are insane. These federal agencies, if they need it, can ask for a budget for a fucking satellite in the sky. No one else can do it. Besides Elon Musk, I'm guessing. No one else can do it, right? Like, this is the power they possess. McDonald's can say, I want a satellite in the fucking sky. They can't do that. Federal agencies can, right? And these federal agencies are using resources of a Waffle House. Is Waffle House open? Oh, it's open, so I guess it's not so bad. That shit is insane to me.
Is. Okay, green, Waffle House is running as normal. Yellow, Waffle House is using the backup generator or having to use an altered menu. Red, Waffle House is closed. People are probably already fucking dead by that point. Waffle House is literally the Terminator of the fast food industry, okay? The fact that the federal government, probably the most powerful entity on the planet, maybe ever, looks at a chain of restaurants and is like, man, if Waffle House is closed, we need to mobilize the National Guard is fucking crazy. Now, maybe you guys are thinking the same thing I was at this point.
Oh, China has invaded USA. Is Waffle House open? Oh, I guess it's not so bad. Maybe they haven't invaded completely. It's just the example. Chill the fuck out. I know people get pissed off. Who's the closest to USA? China. So I'm using that example, right? I'm not going to say India invades USA. That's just absurd.
My research, and I'm like, man, I need to invest in this company. I need to see if I can open up my own Waffle House franchise. This company's awesome. And this is where the bad news comes in. I mean, technically you can franchise a Waffle House, but most of us probably can't. The company is privately owned. It's not on the stock market. It's still owned by the families of the original two founders. And while they do allow franchises, they are super picky about who they let buy in to have a franchise, and they make it very, very expensive to buy in to make sure this is actually what you want. And while that is unfortunate, I think it's actually kind of awesome. It's a company that actually has morals and cares about their image more than they care about next quarter's profits, okay? It's a company that is committed.
You can't have vision if you have to worry about quarterlies and what to show share owners, board of directors. This is a problem, right? Everything has a pros and cons. If you go too big, if you go public, this is the con. It's a major con. You see that in video game industry. Some developer makes awesome games. They become bigger. Publisher becomes bigger. The whole team becomes bigger. Then goes public. There are shareholders. Oh, by the way, we have to meet deadline. Now there are shitty bugs in that. Everything's going to shit. Why? Because they didn't do their vision. They played it safe, right? They made another game the same as before because they don't want to take any chances. Shit like that. So this happens all the time. A great developer becomes shitty because they become big, and it just happens. Like Ubisoft's about to fall now. Look at Ubisoft. Too many good games from Ubisoft. My whole childhood, I played Ubisoft game. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is one of the best game I ever played. Not the best Assassin game. That's Assassin's Creed 2 trilogy. But now they're about to go to shit because of this, right? All the thing that, like, yeah, going public might not be the best thing, right? If you can, like, sustain being private. Being private is a risk because if everything goes down, every single penny you have will go down. So that's why people go public, because it's not all your investment, it's everybody's investment. And you can just cash in from that and invest somewhere else. So synergy, right? You have multiple companies. So if one goes down, you don't go down with it. That's why people go public.
themselves to making breakfast under any circumstances, and they're gonna see that through till the very end, even though they could probably make way more money by just selling franchises and letting whoever the fuck throw up a Waffle House. And now for the fairy tale ending, Joe and Tom worked together as best friends for 62 years to build Waffle House into what it is today. They both passed away at the ages of 97 and 98, and now Waffle House and their legacy lives on as that company is still being operated by their kids, and that is the American dream. Get together with one of your—
I'm guessing their kids are in 70s as well. Imagine that. You're a kid of somebody who pioneered this, you inherit and you're already in your 70s. That's something. It's like a king of England, right? He became king when he's like really fucking old.
Your best friends, pick a goal, even if it's something as simple as serving breakfast to people, and never let anything get in between you and achieving your goal, even hurricanes and floods and natural disasters, apparently. Work with your best buddy for 62 years straight and then die together and hand it off to your kids. In conclusion, Waffle House is the most American company ever, and that's why I love it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack bang out. Just two homies that dedicated their life to serving my drunk ass breakfast at 3 a.m. I'm gonna get teary-eyed next time I go to a Waffle House.
Okay, seriously, that's 97, 98, like that's something, right? Like live full 100 life. Only 3 and 2 years out from 100. Most people don't get that to level, right? That's insane. All right. Waffle House is insane, man. Seriously, the whole thing about Waffle House, the Waffle House Index, the federal agencies, like this is, you know, America's history. When people write America's history, they're going to talk about it, but they're not only going to talk about its turmoils, its political turmoils, military turmoils. They're also going to talk about the companies and like people themselves. You can't ask for more than that if you're a country or anything like that, right? Because most countries, most past countries, people talk about conquest, people talk about kings, people talk about military shit, political shit. Rarely people talk about maybe some important people they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk about entities like Waffle House and things like that. This is insane. Alright, well, if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.